From Saturday to Sunday, large-scale anti-war rallies erupted across Germany. Citizens voiced their opposition to the government's military involvement in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Demonstrators called for a peaceful solution, criticizing the government's continued support for Ukraine through arms supplies.
It's really a shame what they are doing with their weapons deliveries to Ukraine to put more fire in oil in the fire.
Germany's weakened economy and rising inflation, exacerbated by the conflict, have deepened public dissatisfaction. Many Germans are increasingly opposed to further military involvement. Hundreds of protesters gathered in downtown Düsseldorf, North Rhine-Westphalia's capital, waving anti-war banners and chanting for peace. The rallies transcended anti-war sentiments, appealing to international leaders for conflict resolution through dialogue.
We want peaceful, good relations with all our neighbors in Europe and all in the world. And also Russia, I think, is part of Europe as well, but also we want good Eurasian relations. But this government kind of ended all diplomatic activities.
The July NATO summit announcement that the US will deploy long-range missiles in Germany by 2026 has intensified public unease. Protesters fear that such actions could escalate the conflict and make Germany a target for Russian retaliation.
Long-range missiles on German soil will further escalate the conflict with Russia and will make Germany a target for Russian bombs in case this war with Russia escalates even further.
In a parallel political development, the far-right Alternative for Germany celebrated a historic victory in Thuringia's state election on Sunday, marking its first win in the country's east.
We want to govern, and as the strongest force, we also have the right to govern.
Projections showed AfD securing 32 to 33% of the vote in Thuringia, ahead of the centre-right Christian Democratic Union, which garnered about 24%. In Saxony, AfD was close behind CDU with 30.6, 31.4% of the vote. Additionally, the newly formed Sarah-Wagenknecht alliance made a significant impact, securing up to 16% of the vote in Thuringia and 12% in Saxony. Despite other parties' refusal to form coalitions with AfD, the party's strength complicates the formation of new state governments, potentially forcing unconventional coalitions.
The majority of people in Thuringia do not want business as usual. They want political change, and political change will not be possible against the strongest force in Thuringia. And I am curious to see how the old parties will then try to somehow form a losing coalition. That will be exciting.
The AfD party has set its sights on the German federal elections following its victory. AfD co-leaders have called for Chancellor Olaf Scholz's government to resign.
Voters want new elections in the federal government too. We are preparing for this, and accordingly, Chancellor Olaf Scholz should draw the consequences and, together with his coalition partners, pack his bags and vacate the chairs.
These developments highlight a growing dissatisfaction with Germany's current politics. Citizens are increasingly seeking peace in foreign policy and change in domestic governance.